last word.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield to my good friend from Maryland.
I want to thank my friend from California for yielding and add some more comments in the spirited debate here. Look at my good friend from Arkansas mentioned Mr. Buffett in his recent comments. And we should remember that 2 years ago in Mr. Buffett's annual letter to shareholders, the advice he gave everyone was to invest in a Vanguard S&P index fund, because he cited Nobel Prize-winning economists and his own experience where about 8 or 9 years earlier he made a bet with hedge fund managers that the S&P 500 would exceed the performance of a collective of active managed funds by hedge fund managers, and he won the bet. And his point was that most average Main Street investors should seek investments that have low fees and avoid conflicts, which is exactly what the fiduciary rule is designed to do. And, you know, the arguments against this rule, you know, are probably similar to the arguments that were made when we made changes to how stocks were traded and moved to electronic platforms. And they were probably similar to arguments that were made against opening up markets through various exchanges and limiting some of the monopolies that used to exist on the New York Stock Exchange and several others. You know, there are arguments in favor of the old business model. But in fact, the world has changed. And the ability of the private market to deliver a fiduciary level service to individual investors is quite easy, and it'll be accomplished by many, many providers. The fact that the gentleman from Kentucky referenced how so many large firms have already repositioned their business models around this rule, I think is first evidence of that. You know, they've seen the change, and they've made the adjustments they need to do. And so to somehow, you know, speculate that the private market won't be able to adjust to a standard of putting your client's interests first when there's so many opportunities available to investors at very low fees, almost no fees. I mean, people can buy index funds at what are literally inconsequential fees. And my friend from Missouri mentioned examples of people who've been hurt by this, and we've obviously heard in this committee hearing many examples of individuals who have had their retirement savings kind of squandered by conflicted investment advice, where they retired from a company, they had a 401k, it was in a diversified basket of stocks, and an investment advisor put them into a single insurance annuity investment, and the insurance company went under and they lost all their savings. This doesn't happen frequently. I understand that. I think most investment advisors absolutely, regardless of the legal standard that exists, put their clients' best interests first. That's why they're in business, that's what their reputations are based on, and that's how they deal on a day-to-day basis with the people that they serve. But we do know there are some who don't. But the other thing that goes unnoticed here is the compounding effect of higher fees across time. I mean, if you look at the average return of the S&P 500 over the last 4 decades, and if you were to assume that you pay 100 basis points or 1 point more in fees because of conflicted advice, in other words, the advisor is offering products from the firm and getting paid a higher fee to do it, if you compound that over 40 years, if you put up $100 and make the S&P return plus 100 basis points, you're losing 50% of your performance. So if you put up $100 and you make the S&P return, you're going to have $3,000 at the end of 40 years, but if you pay 1 point more in fee every year, you're going to have $2,000. Now, you don't see that every day. You don't see it every month. You don't see it every year. There's no story of the person losing their home because of it. There's no story of the crisis. But across time, it significantly and materially diminishes the retirement savings that someone has through the basic power of compounding. And so, you know, the resistance to this change, which the private market has already proven fully that it's able to do, in the context of a world where there's so many very low-fee, high-quality investment products available to individuals, I just find somewhat confusing. And it's really based on protecting a legacy business model who I think time has passed. So with that, I yield back.